The Soulbeast is our ranger specialization that allows rangers to combine their spirits with their pet.
They become their bear, they become their devourer. They take on the essence of these animals and tear through opponents.
They also gain access to the dagger as a main hand weapon. Now they can kind of, slice and dice with both components, crossing into close range, as well as crippling from distance.
It works really well with some of the new pets that we're adding for rangers in Alona.
Ah, the Soulbeast. A spec that absolutely adores their pets by taking their pet's body and smashing it into their own. That's kind of disgusting. PETA. Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Ranger Elite Specialization, the Soulbeast. And once again, I have not had hands-on training with the Soulbeast, so all of my opinions are subject to change, much like the other Elite Specializations. So without further ado, let's get started. The official description for the Soulbeast reads, "The bond between a Soulbeast and their pet is so strong that they can become one in spirit. By channeling their pet, they can become a single entity, attacking with fang-like dagger strikes and using the abilities of their companion and its archetype." Ah, the good old Soulbeast. Now, my first impressions of the Soulbeast was that this elite specialization was going to be focused around wielding multiple animal pets at once. However, it was the complete opposite. Instead of summoning multiple animals, you're instead going to be siphoning your own animal pet into your own player character. I mean, it's not necromantic, it's more of a natural fusing, but still, it's a little weird to me. And I have to say, when it was first revealed, I thought that this little snippet was the most underwhelming out of the other elite specializations. So I really had to start digging down deep because I wanted to know if this could live up to, say, the Druid. And I must say, I'm actually fairly intrigued, and I think it has a place in each game type, PvE, PvP, and World vs. World, as like a frontline bruiser. So I will be going over the unique mechanics for this specialization, the weapon, which is the dagger, and the utility skills, as well as the couple traits that we have available to us. So let's talk about the unique mechanic. So if you happen to be coming from a druid, you will be losing your celestial avatar stance in favor for a new mode known as beast mode. And this is shown off in the trailer, where you absorb your pet and you gain, I can confirm, at least 2 abilities. One for that specific pet, and the second one is based on their archetype. I have heard talks about a 3rd skill, but I don't have any information on that, so therefore I cannot confirm. So the beast mode is on a 10-second cooldown, and you can leave the beast mode whenever you want if you are in it. And that is pretty much the new profession mechanic. It's fairly self-explanatory. I wish I had more information about each skill that you get for the different combinations, but that would be a super long video. So this is a very brief overview of that mechanic. Next, I'm going to be talking about the weapon skills, which is of course the dagger. Your auto attacks are Groundwork Gouge, Leading Swipe, Serpent Stab, and Deadly Deliver. The first attack applies vulnerability, the second one applies bleeding, and the third one applies poison, while your 4th auto attack applies all 3. And of course, it does flat damage. It's not just purely a condition. Really, you might recognize that this weapon is based almost entirely around conditions, once again. For the second dagger skill, it's known as Double Arc. Rip your blade through your foe twice, inflicting heavy bleeding. Your pet's next 2 strikes inflict poison. More Condi application for yourself, and a little bit more play with your pet. And the third and final skill is known as Instinctive Engage. Leap forward and slash at your foe. Gain quickness if you successfully strike them. So you'll be doing much faster attacks with quickness. And those are all the new skills coming with the dagger. I can definitely see Dagger being a really fun weapon combination. And considering this is going to be mostly Condi, I can see an axe torch on your second weapon set to be really fun. Or even shortbow. I totally forgot about shortbow. Moving on to the utility, heal, and elite skills. For the healing skill, we have a Bear Stance. Heal yourself and your pet. lose conditions while in this stance. Healing for each condition lost. So you're going to do an upfront amount of healing, and then it's not like you're just removing conditions and then healing. It's every condition applied to you will heal you. And I also forgot to mention they are getting stances, which puts them in a much more frontline, combatant, dueling mode. Moving on to the utility skills. First one we have is Doliac Stance. Gain defensive boons and remove conditions that impede movement. So specifically like chill, immobilize, cripple. Next, it continues on. Prevent application of such conditions while in this stance. So once you remove them, you're just no longer going to have them as long as you're in the Doliac Stance. The second utility is known as Griffin Stance. Gain endurance. Your endurance recovery is greatly improved and you gain might when you evade attacks. So up front, you're just going to be getting some more dodging, and then every single time you dodge or you successfully dodge, you will gain might. The third and final one that I have here is known as a Vulture Stance. While in this stance, striking a foe grants you might if they are above the health threshold, and inflicts poison when they are below it. So there is some sort of duality aspect where you will poison them if they are below a certain health threshold, which I'm guessing is 50%, and then you can gain might for yourself if they are above 50%. Moving on to the elite skill, we have One Wolf Pack. This one doesn't really seem like an elite to me, but it does look interesting, but I think the cooldown might be a little too high. It reads, your successful attacks will trigger a second strike while in this stance. And I think by flat damage, it's 450 for the second strike. I'm more curious to know how long you stay in this stance for. If it's like 10 seconds, that makes it much more acceptable. It is on a 60-second cooldown, so with a 60-second cooldown, I don't know if I'm going to be taking this. I just have to know what the duration is on this skill. Next and finally, I will be going over the 4 traits that we have. I have the Minor Adept trait here, Elevated Bond, gain access to stances. Survival in the desert has enhanced your connection to your pet, granting you the ability to meld with them by entering beast mode. This one is pretty much the one that introduces you to the Soulbeast specialization, nothing too fancy. And next up, I have the 3 Grandmaster traits. The first one is known as Eternal Bond. While in beast mode, if you would be downed, you instead fall out of beast mode and recover health. This trait is similar to the Berserker trait that allows you to recover health if you are currently in Berserker mode. Moving to the second Grandmaster, Leader of the Pack. Stance skills grant their effects to nearby allies for a reduced duration. This is where I can definitely see the elite skill coming into play. I believe it only affects 5 other people, but still 5 other people doing about 415 damage can add up. And the final Grandmaster trait is Oppressive Superiority. Deal increased damage to foes who have less health than you. Conditions you apply to foes with less health than you last longer. I don't think we have ever seen a trait like this. It's not a trait that permanently puts a static health percentage on that target to say, oh, if they are below 50% health, you do more damage. This one is just when they have lower health than you, you do more damage, and your conditions that you apply last longer. So they could be at 99% and you can be at 100% and you're still getting use out of this trait, which I find very interesting. And that is the basic overview of the Ranger Elite Specialization, the Soulbeast. Coming in with Path of Fire, they are also getting, I believe, 4 new pets. I currently have 3 right here. They're known as the Juvenile Jacaranda, the Juvenile Rock Gazelle, and the Juvenile Fanged Iboga. I don't know the 4th one, and I don't exactly know what each pet does for their unique abilities, but overall I'm excited to see how they complement the Ranger. One issue that I have, as well as many of us in the community have, or I really shouldn't say issue, I really should have just said concern, because it is a major concern. The Ranger was based around their pet doing almost half of their damage, so we're trying to figure out how this can fit in to make it so it feels comfortable to play and doesn't feel too wonky. I have faith in ArenaNet, and I know many of us have faith in ArenaNet that they will come through and they will give us a really nice and unique feeling elite specialization for the Ranger. And that is the Soulbeast, a little bit shorter of a video than I was expecting actually. But I'm truly excited to see how it plays out when it hits live servers. I'm going to be spending a lot of time with it, as well as just all the other elite specializations. I know we all are. But one last thing, I have a referral link down below if you decide to buy Path of Fire. It greatly helps me out. It helps out all the other content creators if you decide to use their links as well. And tell people about Guild Wars 2. It's time to bring everyone back into this amazing expansion. Hopefully amazing, crossing everything, my fingers, my toes, my body. So once again, thank you everyone for watching. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more Path of Fire content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.